The sky begins to glitch. Not with thunder, not with clouds, but with something wrong. High above the Pacific Ocean, satellite feeds from Monarch's orbital arrays flicker as if reality itself is buffering. A lattice of golden static fractures across the stratosphere, branching like veins through the upper atmosphere. Civilian aircraft report sudden electromagnetic interference. Compasses spin. Radio towers scream with feedback. On a Monarch command deck buried deep beneath concrete and steel, fluorescent lights buzz as massive monitors fill with cascading data. "Energy spike detected," a technician whispers, eyes locked on the screen. "Upper ionosphere, it's climbing." Dr. Eileen Chen steps forward, her reflection trembling in the glass display. The readout pulses in 3 repeating waves. Staggered, rhythmic. Her breath catches. "No," she murmurs, "that frequency pattern." Another analyst overlays archived files from Antarctica. The comparison appears side by side, identical, but stronger. The room goes silent except for the hum of machinery. "Is it residual?" someone asked. "Aftershock radiation from Boston?" Chen shakes her head slowly. "Residual energy decays. This is increasing." Outside, storm systems that weren't forecast begin spiraling across the Pacific Basin. Satellite imagery shows clouds rotating counter to Earth's natural jet streams. Lightning forms in branching, unnatural arcs. Gold instead of white. The pattern is not random. It's symmetrical. 3 rotating centers. Half a world away in a quiet mountain valley untouched by Monarch sensors, wind moves gently through tall grass. Birds lift suddenly into the sky, startled by nothing visible. Goku freezes mid-step. He had been laughing, sparring lightly, testing reflexes, enjoying the simple rhythm of training. But now the air feels heavy, not oppressive. Hungry. He closes his eyes. There it is again. A pulse. Not like Frieza, not like Piccolo, not even like something divine. This energy feels wrong. It doesn't flow like ki. It doesn't breathe. It consumes. The ground trembles faintly beneath his feet. Pebbles vibrate. A distant thunder rolls across a clear blue sky. Goku looks upward. The clouds ripple outward in a perfect expanding ring. "Wow!" He exhales softly, not afraid, but alert. The pulse hits again, stronger this time. His orange GI flutters in a wind that isn't blowing anywhere else. The air distorts in front of him like heat over asphalt. Far above Earth's curvature, Monarch satellites register a gravitational anomaly forming inside the storm cluster. "Mass signature?" a commander demands. "Negative, sir. There's no body." "Then what are we tracking?" The screen fractures into static for a split second, and when it clears, 3 faint silhouettes flicker inside the clouds, elongated, serpentine, unstable. Chen's voice tightens. "It's not fully manifesting, it's phasing, as if something is trying to remember how to exist." Across the globe, electronics flicker, streetlights explode in cascading grids, cargo ships report compass failure. The ocean surface churns beneath calm skies. Goku clenches his fist. That energy just spiked again. He lifts slowly off the ground, hovering inches above the grass, his eyes sharpen. Not with excitement, but calculation. "This isn't from here," he mutters. The sky tears. Not metaphorically, it splits. A thin, jagged line of golden light rips across the atmosphere above him, stretching from horizon to horizon, like a scar being forced open. The air roars outward, bending trees backward. Shockwaves ripple through the valley. Goku steadies himself midair, aura flickering faintly as he shields his face from the blast. On Monarch's main screen, the anomaly spikes off every measurable chart. Dimensional shear confirmed, a scientist shouts. We're detecting overlapping spatial frequencies. The fracture widens, lightning floods through it. Not downward but sideways, gravity fluctuates, ocean tides shift violently, the storm over the Pacific condenses inward, forming a massive rotating eye. 3 golden currents spiral inside it. And then, for a single heartbeat, 3 massive shadows press against the clouds from within. Not fully visible. Not yet. Goku feels it clearly now. 3 minds. 1 will. Malice layered upon instinct. He narrows his eyes, the wind whipping around him violently as the sky continues splitting open above his world. Back in the Monarch bunker, Chen whispers the name no one wanted to say. It's the same signature. Another pulse slams through both realities simultaneously. On Goku's world, the rift expands into a blazing vortex of gold and black, energy spiraling inward like a cosmic whirlpool. On MonsterVerse Earth, the storm's eye collapses into a singular point of blinding light. 2 skies, 2 worlds, both tearing open at the same instant. Goku rockets upward towards the rift, aura igniting brighter, determination overtaking confusion. Inside the storm, over the Pacific, something shifts. A distant, echoing roar vibrates through clouds and satellites alike, not fully audible but felt deep in the bones of the planet. Ancient, triumphant, hungry. The fracture between worlds widens another inch. And then, the sky splits completely open in 2 different realities. The Dragon Balls begin to vibrate before anyone touches them. Across forests, deserts and ocean floors, the 7 orbs hum with a low, resonant tone, their orange glow flickering erratically like failing embers. Animals scatter. The wind dies without warning. Even the clouds seem to hold their breath. On a rocky plateau overlooking a distant coastline, Goku lands hard, boots scraping against stone as another tremor ripples through the horizon-split sky. The rift above is wider now, a jagged wound stitched with the gold lightning and writhing darkness. He exhales slowly, feeling it again. That alien pulse pressing against his senses. We need answers, he mutters. Within moments, the Dragon Balls gather in a circle before him, pulled together by unseen force. They rise inches above the ground, spinning, glowing brighter. Unstable. Goku doesn't hesitate. Shenron, appear, and grant my wish. The sky blackens instantly, and clouds spiral inward as emerald lightning cracks downward. The earth shakes as the colossal serpentine form of Shenron erupts from the vortex of darkness, scales shimmering, crimson eyes blazing. I am Shenron, the dragon's voice echoes across the valley, ancient and commanding. State your wish. But something is wrong. Shenron's body does not move smoothly through the air, his coils twitch. His whiskers tremble in the charged wind. The golden tear in the sky reflects in his eyes. And for the first time, the eternal dragon recoils. His massive head turns toward the rift. Silence. Goku looks up at him. That energy up there. What is it? Where is it coming from? Shenron's pupils narrow, his voice lowers, almost strained. That presence does not belong to your world. The wind howls louder, the rift pulses. It is older than the cycle of your Dragon Balls. It is not bound by this planet's balance. Goku's expression tightens. Can you send it back? Seal it? Shenron hesitates. The hesitation is terrifying. The boundary between realms weakens, Shenron says slowly. A wish may reveal the truth, but the cost. The sky flashes violently. Do it! Goku shouts, aura flickering faintly around him. Show me what we're dealing with. For a split second, Shenron's eyes burn brighter, and then he roars. The Dragon Balls ignite in blinding gold instead of their usual orange. The air compresses, distorting the horizon. The rift overhead responds instantly, widening with a thunderous crack as if pulled by the wish itself. Instead of clarity, the world fractures. A shockwave explodes outward from the Dragon Balls, racing across continents. Mountains tremble, oceans surge. The sky splits further open. Not sealing, but unraveling. Shenron's massive form flickers, scales phasing in and out like unstable holograms. "This is not knowledge," Shenron bellows. "It is convergence." The rift above spirals, forming a vortex that stretches far beyond Earth's atmosphere. Within its depths, something moves. 3 shifting currents of gold and black intertwining. Goku shields his eyes as gravitational forces fluctuate wildly. Stones rise into the air around him, orbiting chaotically. "What's happening?" he shouts. "The barriers weaken," Shenron roars. "Your wish has illuminated its path." A pulse slams through the planet. Far across reality, on another Earth beneath darker skies, Monarch outposts begin lighting up in red. Inside a subterranean command center, seismic monitors spike violently. "Multiple Titan biosignatures reactivating," a technician yells. "Dormant sites worldwide." On giant digital maps, icons flicker to life. Scattered across continents, deep beneath oceans, frozen within mountain vaults. Signals long thought extinct begin transmitting. Ancient heartbeats reawaken. In the Arctic, thick ice fractures along a buried fissure. In the jungles of South America, something massive shifts beneath ancient stone. Under the Pacific, seismic waves ripple outward from oceanic trenches. 3 rhythmic pulses echo across Monarch screens, matching the pattern from the storm anomaly. Back beneath the ruptured sky, Shenron strains against the tearing air. His body coils tighter, fighting destabilization. "This force feeds on division," he warns. "It crosses boundaries not meant to be crossed." Goku stares into the rift, determination replacing confusion. "Then I'll cross it first." Shenron's gaze snaps back to him. "You do not understand. That world is not governed by your balance. There are no Dragon Balls beyond this veil." Another violent tremor shakes the land. One of the Dragon Balls cracks along its surface, light leaking from within. The vortex above intensifies, now visible not as empty space but as a gateway. 2 skies overlapping imperfectly, 2 atmospheres colliding. And deep within the swirling storm, a distant roar reverberates. Faint but growing clearer. Shenron's voice lowers into something almost fearful. It remembers. "What does?" Goku demands. Before Shenron can answer, a blinding surge of golden lightning erupts from the heart of the rift. It spears downward through Goku's world and simultaneously pierces through the storm-lashed skies of the MonsterVerse Earth. 2 realities struck by the same bolt. The Dragon Balls shatter into beams of light. Shenron's form disintegrates into emerald particles, and the dimensional barrier fractures completely. The hurricane forms in less than 6 minutes. Meteorologists don't even have time to name it. Over the central Pacific, beneath a sky still scarred by the golden lightning strike, clouds collapse inward as if dragged by an invisible claw. Satellite feeds struggle to maintain focus. Static bleeds across every frame. Wind speeds spike beyond measurable limits, yet the ocean below remains eerily still at the eye's center. In Monarch's underwater observation outpost near Isla de Mara's former impact zone, alarms begin to echo through steel corridors. "Electromagnetic surge detected," a technician shouts. "It's not solar." It's terrestrial. Dr. Eileen Chen steps toward the main display as raw energy readings cascade down the screen. The frequency pattern stabilizes for a split second. 3 pulses. Pause. 3 pulses again. Her breath tightens. That's impossible, she whispers. Archive footage flashes automatically across the monitor. Antarctica, the frozen prison cracking open. The triple-headed titan rising from ice, wings unfolding like a storm given flesh. King Ghidorah. Ghidorah's biomass was incinerated, a senior analyst insists. Residual neural tissue was destroyed. There's nothing left to regenerate. Chen doesn't answer, because the numbers don't show regeneration. They show amplification. The hurricane's eye darkens, forming a spiral void at its center. Lightning branches outward in jagged gold arcs, striking the ocean surface repeatedly. But instead of dissipating, the energy lingers, crawling across the water like living veins. Inside the storm, something begins to take shape. Not matter. Memory. Deep beneath the waves, abandoned communication cables hum violently. Power grids on distant islands flicker and surge. Satellites above the atmosphere overload their circuits, burning out one by one, as if something is siphoning them. It's feeding, Chen says quietly. On what? On everything. The storm expands, swallowing miles of open sea. Naval fleets reroute, aircraft carriers alter course. The sky turns a sickly shade of bruised violet. Within the swirling clouds, 3 elongated distortions flicker. Faint at first, like shadows cast against vapor. A junior officer squints at the magnified feed. Tell me I'm seeing interference. No one responds. The shadows move independently. Across the globe, dormant Titan containment sites begin reacting. In the Nevada desert, seismic monitors spike beneath an ancient burial vault. In the Amazon basin, a hidden Monarch bunker trembles as something massive shifts in its subterranean slumber. Bioacoustic signals begin transmitting from creatures long silent. Submission frequencies? Alpha acknowledgement. But there is no body to submit to. Only the storm. Back over the Pacific, the eye tightens. The central void grows darker, denser, rotating with unnatural precision. Lightning converges inward now, not outward, spiraling into a single focal point. The shadows become clearer. 3 massive neck-like silhouettes coil within the clouds, phasing in and out of visibility, as if struggling to exist fully in this plane. They're not solid, an analyst breathes. Chen's eyes never leave the screen. Not yet. The energy readings spike again. Higher than Boston, higher than Antarctica. The electromagnetic field around the hurricane distorts gravity itself. Ocean currents twist in impossible directions. Inside the storm's core, something like a skull begins to outline itself in lightning. A suggestion of horns, a crown shape carved from stormlight. A roar reverberates through every transmission frequency. Not audible in air, but translated through raw data. It registers as a seismic tremor across coastlines thousands of miles away. Monarch's AI system flags it automatically. Conscious neural pattern detected. The room falls silent. That can't be right, someone whispers. There's no brain. Chen's voice lowers. There doesn't have to be. The shadows surge violently within the hurricane, growing more defined with each surge of absorbed electricity. 3 serpentine heads briefly break through the cloud layer, translucent, skeletal, formed entirely of lightning and condensed vapor. Then they vanish again. Ghost images. But the bioacoustic submission signals intensify worldwide. Titans in containment shift restlessly. Deep-sea sonar captures massive shapes, altering course toward the Pacific storm. The planet recognizes an alpha call. A senior commander turns to Chen. Is it residual consciousness? A neural echo? Chen watches as the storm's core flashes with blinding gold. No, she says firmly. An echo doesn't command. Another surge, this one stronger. The hurricane begins moving. Not drifting with global wind patterns, but steering, deliberate, directed. Its path, open ocean, away from major land masses, as if preparing. High above, orbital debris caught in the electromagnetic field ignites and spirals downward, feeding the vortex like sacrificial offerings. Inside the storm, the three shadows stabilize. Necks arch. Wings. Vast and skeletal. Momentarily unfold within the lightning before dissolving again into vapor. The roar comes again. Louder. Clearer. Not a memory. Not a phantom. A mind reforming itself through energy alone. Chen exhales slowly, dread settling into her expression. It's reconstructing its neural network using the planet's electromagnetic grid, she says. Not flesh. Not yet, just consciousness. The hurricane's eye flares brilliant gold. And for a full second, long enough for every satellite to capture it, three distinct heads push against the storm wall from within, jaws open, eyes blazing, like twin suns. Then the clouds swallow them again. On every monitor in Monarch Command, the same horrifying realization settles in. They thought they were tracking a ghost signal. They were wrong. Because ghosts don't grow stronger. And ghosts don't call titans to kneel. Far out in the forming hurricane, three shadows move with purpose inside the storm. The first thing that hits him is gravity. Not the pull of it, the weight of it. Goku's body is hurled through a tunnel of blinding gold and tearing wind, the rift collapsing behind him like a snapping jaw. Sound disappears. Light fractures into shards. For a split second, there is nothing but pressure crushing against his aura. Then, impact. He slams into the Pacific Ocean like a meteor. A shockwave explodes outward for miles, sending a towering column of seawater into the sky. Cargo ships in the distance rock violently as alarms blare across their decks. The ocean surface caves inward before erupting again in a spiraling vortex. Deep beneath the waves, Goku's eyes snap open. The water is darker here, colder, denser. He steadies himself, boots touching the ocean floor, for half a breath before he rockets upward in a burst of white aura, carving a tunnel through the sea. He breaks the surface in a blast of steam and spray. Above him, the sky is wrong. Bruised purple clouds churn unnaturally. Lightning flickers gold across a forming superstorm on the horizon. The air smells metallic, thick with ozone. Goku hovers inches above the water, scanning. This isn't... He trails off. The coastline in the distance is unfamiliar. No mountains he recognizes, no familiar landmarks, no familiar key signatures at all. Not a single one. Far above, satellites recalibrate. In a Monarch command center, thousands of miles away, screens flash red simultaneously. Massive energy spike detected in the Pacific, a technician shouts. How massive? The commander demands. The number appears. Silence. That's Titan class, someone whispers. The feed switches to thermal imaging. A humanoid silhouette hovers above the ocean's surface, energy radiating outward in visible waves. Dr. Eileen Chen steps closer to the screen, narrowing her eyes. It's too small. Scale error, a junior analyst asks. No, Chen says slowly. The mass doesn't match the output. Goku floats higher, squinting at the horizon. The storm from earlier pulses faintly in the distance, the same malignant energy thrumming within it. He clenches his fist. It followed me. The air cracks around him as he accelerates towards land, breaking the sound barrier in an instant. The ocean behind him parts briefly under the force of his wake. Onshore, coastal radar stations track the incoming object. "Unknown entity moving at max speeds," a voice calls out. Military protocols activate automatically. Within minutes, fighter jets scream across the sky toward the coordinates. Naval destroyers pivot their missile systems. Coastal artillery systems power online. Goku lands lightly on a stretch of rocky shoreline, boots crunching against wet stone. He looks around calmly, taking in unfamiliar architecture in the distance. High-rise buildings along a city coast. Sirens begin wailing. He sighs softly. "Guess I made an entrance." The first jets appear overhead, roaring low. Their shadows streak across him as targeting systems lock on. "Unidentified life form." A pilot's voice crackles over comms. "You are in restricted airspace. Power down immediately." Goku looks up, blinking. "Huh?" Missiles detach. They streak toward him in coordinated arcs, smoke trails slicing through the darkened sky. Goku tilts his head slightly. The explosions bloom around him in fiery spheres, swallowing the shoreline in smoke and debris. Shockwaves ripple across the water. When the smoke clears, he is still hovering, mildly singed, expression more confused than angry. "That was kind of rude," he mutters. Back at Monarch Command, analysts stare at the live feed. "No visible damage," one breathes. Chen's gaze sharpens. That wasn't defensive flinching, he didn't even brace. The energy readings spike again as Goku instinctively powers up slightly, aura flickering brighter around him. The pressure alone sends nearby waves crashing violently against the cliffs. "Energy output increasing," a technician warns. "It's climbing rapidly." On a separate monitor, the hurricane in the Pacific responds. Lightning intensifying in synchronization. Chen's voice tightens. The storm is reacting to him. Before she can finish, heavy military transports descend toward the coastline. Armored vehicles roll into position along the highway, overlooking the beach. Soldiers disembark swiftly, forming a perimeter. Snipers lock sights. Anti-Titan artillery systems pivot into place. Goku lowers gently to the sand as searchlights flood his position. The beams illuminate his orange gi, the kanji symbol on his back unfamiliar to every camera scanning it. A commander steps forward behind reinforced shielding. "Unknown entity?" he shouts through amplified speakers. "Identify yourself." Goku scratches the back of his head. I'm Goku." Silence. The commander exchanges a look with his officers. "Apex prototype," someone whispers. Chen listens through the comm channel, tension rising in her chest. "He doesn't match any Apex schematics," she says quietly. "But that energy signature." Another lightning bolt tears across the sky, illuminating the coastline in gold for a split second. The distant storm churns violently, as if aware. Goku looks toward it again, face hardening. He feels it clearly now. That same monstrous presence building strength. The soldiers tighten their formation, weapons hum as they charge. Goku glances back at them, calm but firm. "You guys might want to get somewhere safe." The commander's voice drops into a cold decision. "Engage containment protocol." In an instant, armored vehicles encircle him fully. Helicopters hover above. Dozens of red laser sights settle across his chest. Thunder booms overhead. Lightning flashes. Military forces surround Goku, as the storm grows darker on the horizon. The storm stops rotating. For one unnatural second, the hurricane over the Pacific freezes in place. Clouds suspended mid-churn, lightning trapped in branching arcs across the sky like cracks in glass. Every radar station on Earth glitches simultaneously. Then the ocean explodes upward. A column of water rises miles into the air as if something colossal has forced its way through from beneath reality itself. The hurricane collapses inward, spiraling tightly around the eruption point. Gold lightning converges in violent torrents, striking the center again and again. In Monarch command, seismic monitors spike off the charts. "Mass forming inside the storm," a technician shouts. "It's gaining density." On-screen thermal imaging shifts from static interference to a blinding white silhouette. 3 elongated shapes push outward from the heart of the vortex. No longer translucent, solid. Scales begin knitting together from condensed radiation and vaporized ocean. Wings unfold in vast skeletal arcs, membrane weaving itself from storm energy. The central torso condenses, muscle forming beneath golden armor-like plating. Regeneration, but accelerated beyond biology. Dimensional radiation from the fractured sky pulses through the forming body like fuel injected into a dying star. "Doctors." Chen's voice drops to a whisper. "It's rebuilding faster than Antarctica, faster than Boston." The 3 heads rise through the collapsing storm clouds. King Ghidorah. Water cascades off newly formed scales as the Titan's wings snap outward, displacing air with a shockwave that ripples across the Pacific. The hurricane does not dissipate. It bends around him, orbiting like a crown of thunder. The center head lifts highest, jaws parting slowly. A roar tears across the planet. It is not merely sound. It is a command. Across continents, dormant titans jolt awake. In the Nevada desert, a buried colossus shifts beneath sand and stone. In the jungles of South America, ancient trees tremble as something enormous exhales beneath the earth. Deep in ocean trenches, sonar buoys register massive shapes changing course. Bioacoustic monitors flare red worldwide. Submission frequencies activate. They answer. Back on the coastline, where military forces surround Goku, every electronic system shorts out for a split second. Radios emit piercing feedback. Soldiers stagger as the roar vibrates through their bones. Goku's head snaps toward the horizon. He feels it clearly now. Not just power. Hatred. Ancient and cold. His aura flickers instinctively as pressure slams into him like a physical force. The air becomes heavier, charged with static. Sand lifts around his boots in spirals. High above the Pacific, Ghidorah's regeneration completes in visible stages. Torn tissue seals instantly, fractured horns reform with jagged precision. One severed neck stump from past defeat reconstitutes fully, scales locking into place as if time itself reversed. Lightning dances across his body, absorbed instead of deflected. The dimensional rift still faintly scars the upper atmosphere, and energy bleeds from it into Ghidorah's form like a second heartbeat. "He's amplifying," Chen breathes. "The anomaly is feeding him." Ghidorah beats his wings once. The resulting shockwave flattens waves for miles and sends tsunamis racing outward in expanding rings. Cargo ships capsize. Oil rigs crumple like toys. The 3 heads scan the horizon with predatory calculation. Then they tilt upward, towards the sky fracture, as if recognizing its source. Back on shore, soldiers struggle to maintain formation. Searchlights flicker uselessly in the growing storm front. The commander steadies himself. Visual confirmation? A satellite feed stabilizes just long enough to show the full silhouette rising above the storm. Massive wings stretching across the clouds, 3 crowned heads roaring into the wind. Silence overtakes the command center. Alpha signal confirmed, a technician whispers. All around the globe, Titan containment alerts escalate to maximum. The planet bows again. Goku takes a single step forward, eyes locked on the distant storm, where golden lightning forks endlessly around the rising Titan. His breathing steadies. He's fought monsters, he's faced gods, but this energy doesn't seek battle. It seeks extinction. He senses no honor, no pride, no warrior's code, just domination. The malice presses against his mind like icy fingers. It is vast, planetary in scale. Every pulse of Ghidorah's wings sends another wave of oppressive force across the atmosphere. The soldiers behind him hesitate, unsure whether to fire or retreat. Goku's aura begins to glow brighter, pushing back against the invisible pressure. Wind whips around him violently now, the ocean churning at his back. In the distance, Ghidorah lifts higher, fully clear of the sea. Storm systems spiral around him in obedient orbit. Lightning converges along his throat, crackling in his jaws. 3 eye sets flare gold. He roars again, louder, more triumphant. Titans across the world answer. Goku exhales slowly, tension easing from his shoulders. This isn't his world. There are no Dragon Balls here to reset mistakes, no second chances. He rolls his neck once, stretching lightly as if preparing for sparring. The commander shouts something behind him, but Goku barely hears it. All he hears is the storm calling. He lifts off the ground, hovering inches above the sand. Golden lightning flashes across the darkened sky, illuminating his silhouette against the coastline. And for the first time since arriving in this broken world, Goku looks directly into the heart of the storm and smiles, not from arrogance, but from challenge. Ghidorah senses him before he arrives. 3 massive heads snap toward a single point in the sky, a speck moving faster than sound, cutting through storm clouds in a streak of white. Goku bursts through the hurricane wall. Wind detonates outward as he enters the Titan's domain, aura burning bright against the suffocating darkness. Lightning lashes around him, drawn instinctively to his energy. Rain vaporizes inches from his skin. For the first time, he sees the creature clearly. King Ghidorah. The sheer scale of it stops him cold. Each wing stretches beyond his field of vision. Golden scales shimmer with stolen lightning. 3 crowned heads tower above him, eyes glowing with alien intelligence. And every single one of them is staring directly at him. The center head tilts slightly. Curious. Goku exhales, steadying himself mid-air. "So you're the one," he says quietly. Ghidorah answers with a roar that splits the storm. The shockwave hits Goku instantly, hurling him backward through layers of cloud. He flips mid-air, regaining control effortlessly, boots skimming across the air itself as he stops. He grins. Then he vanishes. A sonic boom tears the sky apart as he reappears directly in front of Ghidorah's center head, fist already driving forward. The punch lands. The impact cracks like a bomb, sending a shockwave across the Titan's scales. Ghidorah's massive neck jerks sideways from the force, storm clouds spiraling outward from the collision point. For a moment, nothing moves. Then the left head strikes, faster than its size should allow. Goku barely raises his arm in time. Jaws slam against his guard, teeth like skyscrapers grinding against his aura. The force drives him backward again, air splitting around him. The right head follows instantly, snapping toward him with surgical precision. Goku twists, dodging by inches. He darts forward again, fists and kicks slamming into Ghidorah's necks in rapid succession, each blow releasing explosive bursts of compressed air. The ocean below erupts with every missed strike. He accelerates further, pushing his base form faster, testing. His fists blur, his aura intensifies, but Ghidorah adapts. The centerhead predicts his next movement. Jaws snap open. Gravity beams fire. 3 golden lances of energy explode from Ghidorah's mouths, converging on Goku's position. He crosses his arms instinctively. The beams hit. Pain explodes across his body as the energy overwhelms his guard. His aura flickers violently, pushed backward through the sky in a streak of gold and white. He slams into the ocean. The impact carves a trench through the water's surface, sending a massive plume skyward. Steam erupts as residual energy boils the sea around him. Below the surface, Goku steadies himself, eyes wide. That actually hurt. Above, Ghidorah hovers effortlessly, wings beating once to maintain position. Lightning dances across his jaws again, already charging another attack. Goku rockets upward out of the ocean, aura flaring brighter now. His muscles tense. "All right," he mutters. His energy spikes. Golden light explodes around him as his hair flashes upward, turning bright gold. Super Saiyan. The storm recoils outward from the transformation. Goku vanishes again, speed multiplying instantly. He appears beside Ghidorah's right head and drives a kick into its jaw. The massive neck bends under the force. He follows with a punch to the center head, another to the left. Shockwaves ripple across the Titan's body. For a brief moment, Ghidorah gives ground. Then all 3 heads roar in unison. The gravity beams return stronger. Goku braces himself, firing his own energy blast forward. The 2 forces collide, creating a blinding explosion that splits the storm apart. But Ghidorah's beams push through. They engulf him completely. His aura fractures under the pressure. The beams drive him downward again, faster this time. A streak of gold slammed violently back into the ocean. The sea detonates. Underwater, the pressure crushes inward from all sides. Goku grits his teeth, aura straining as he tries to stabilize himself. Above, Ghidorah descends slowly, massive form entering the water without resistance. Lightning continues to crawl across his body, even beneath the surface, illuminating his colossal silhouette in flashes of gold. The Titan does not hesitate. He follows. The center head lunges downward through the depths, jaws opening wide. Goku barely dodges as teeth snap shut where he was moments before. The force of the bite creates underwater shockwaves that tear apart the seafloor. Goku counters with a punch to the Titan's lower jaw. The impact sends vibrations through the water. But Ghidorah barely reacts. He's learning, adapting. Gravity beams ignite again underwater, distorting the sea itself. They strike Goku point blank. His aura shatters outward in a burst of light as the beams overwhelm him completely this time. His body is driven deeper, crashing into the ocean floor with devastating force. Rock fractures beneath him. The water above darkens as Ghidorah's shadow descends. For the first time in years, Goku feels it clearly. Not excitement, not adrenaline, but pressure, real pressure. His chest tightens as the Titan approaches, gravity beams charging again in the suffocating darkness. Above them, the storm rages. Below, in crushing silence, Goku hangs suspended in the deep, forced underwater by a force unlike anything he has faced before. The air tastes wrong. It starts as a subtle dryness in the throat. Easy to ignore, easy to dismiss, but within minutes, air traffic controllers across 3 continents begin reporting the same anomaly. Pilots adjust oxygen flow in their cockpits. Climbers descending mountain ranges pause, confused by sudden dizziness. Satellites detect the change next. Atmospheric composition graphs flicker as nitrogen ratios fluctuate abnormally. Oxygen levels dip. Not drastically, not yet, but enough to trigger automated alerts. Enough to signal that something is rewriting the sky. High above the Pacific, King Ghidorah hovers like a living storm nucleus. His wings beat slowly, rhythmically, each movement sending invisible shockwaves rippling outward through the atmosphere. Golden lightning forks endlessly around his body, but the storm is no longer chaotic. It is controlled, directed. Cloud systems across the globe begin shifting unnaturally, drawn toward his influence. Jet streams bend off course, storm fronts accelerate beyond natural limits, merging into massive supercell formations that crawl across continents. This is not weather. This is terraforming. In Monarch's central command, tension hangs thick in the air. Every screen shows cascading system warnings. Atmospheric models collapse and recalculate repeatedly, unable to stabilize. Dr. Eileen Chen stands motionless before the main display. He's altering atmospheric chemistry directly, she says quietly. A general beside her crosses his arms. Explain. Chen zooms in on Ghidorah's position. His bioelectric field is ionizing the upper atmosphere, breaking molecular bonds, rewriting environmental balance. The general's expression darkens. How long until it becomes uninhabitable? Chen doesn't answer immediately, because she doesn't want to say it out loud. Days, she finally says. The word lands like a death sentence. Across the globe, governments descend into chaos. Emergency summits convene within hours. Military leaders crowd into war rooms beneath reinforced bunkers. Satellite images of Ghidorah's towering form circulate across classified networks. And alongside them, another image. A humanoid figure, orange GI, golden hair, energy output matching Titan-level thresholds. Goku. He appeared at the exact moment Ghidorah began regenerating. A defense official states coldly. Another official nods. Energy correlation confirmed. His arrival triggered the anomaly spike. Origin unknown, intent unknown. Threat classification updates instantly. Potential apex organism. Neutralization recommended. Back in Monarch Command, Chen hears the decision before it's spoken aloud. They think he caused this, she says. They think he is part of it, the general corrects. On screen, archived footage replays Goku's arrival. The ocean impact, the energy surge, the confrontation. He fought Ghidorah, Chen argues. He wasn't working with him. The general doesn't look convinced. Intent doesn't matter, he says, only outcome. Far below the Pacific surface, in crushing darkness, Goku opens his eyes. His aura flickers weakly around him, dimmer than before. His body aches. Muscles strained, lungs burning from the prolonged submersion. He exhales slowly, bubbles rising past his face. Above him, Ghidorah's silhouette fades upward, returning to the sky. Goku clenches his fists, saying, "That thing," he murmurs. He's fought powerful enemies before, but this creature doesn't just fight. It changes everything around it. Even now he can feel it. The air itself growing thinner. The planet struggling to breathe. He pushes upward, breaking through the ocean's surface once more. The sky above is darker now. Not just storm dark. Wrong dark. Clouds spiral unnaturally toward a central convergence point far beyond the horizon. Lightning pulses in rhythmic intervals, like a heartbeat echoing across the world. Goku hovers silently, staring at it. He senses the fear now, not from himself, from the planet. Across coastal cities, evacuation sirens begin wailing. People crowd streets, staring upward as the sky shifts into unfamiliar patterns. Birds fall from the air mid-flight, disoriented by atmospheric imbalance. Military aircraft fill the sky again. But this time, they are not targeting Ghidorah. They are searching for him. Back in command, Chen watches new coordinates appear. They're deploying capture units, she whispers. For the humanoid, the general confirms. Chen turns sharply. He's not the enemy. The general meets her gaze evenly. He might be. Above the Pacific, Goku closes his eyes briefly. He doesn't need instruments to feel it. The oxygen, dropping, slowly, relentlessly. He inhales, testing the air. It's still breathable, still survivable. For now. He opens his eyes again, staring toward the distant storm where Ghidorah reigns. Area's entire atmosphere bending to his will. Behind him, contrails streak across the sky as military forces approach rapidly. Ahead of him, the storm grows stronger. Between them, Goku floats alone. And all across Earth, oxygen levels continue to fall. The ocean rises before anything breaks the surface. Not from wind, not from impact, but from pressure. Miles of Pacific water bulge upward in a slow, impossible dome, as if something beneath the Earth itself is pushing against the skin of the world. Waves freeze mid-motion, storm winds scatter outward, disrupted by a force older than weather. High above, King Ghidorah notices immediately. All three heads turn downward in perfect synchronization. He knows. Before the sea even breaks, he knows. Goku hovers at a distance, his aura dimmed, body still recovering from their first clash. He feels it too, a presence completely different from Ghidorah's suffocating malice. This one is heavy, ancient, balanced. The water explodes. The column of white erupts skyward as a massive shape tears free from the depths, scattering entire sections of ocean like shattered glass. Godzilla rises. His dorsal spine sliced through the storm-dark sky, glowing faintly with internal radiation. Water pours from his armored scales as he ascends, every movement deliberate, every breath steady. His eyes lock onto Ghidorah. Recognition. Hatred, memory. The storm recoils as the two alpha predators face each other once more. Goku's eyes widen slightly. He's seen massive opponents. He's fought beings capable of destroying worlds, but this is different. These creatures don't just hold power. They are power. Ghidorah roars first. Three voices layered into one impossible sound that splits the heavens. Lightning explodes outward from his wings, carving glowing scars across the cloud layer. Godzilla answers. His roar is deeper, grounded. It vibrates through the ocean and into the air itself. A declaration not of dominance, but of defiance. For a moment, neither moved. The entire planet seems to hold its breath. Then Ghidorah attacks. He dives forward with shocking speed for his size, wings beating once with enough force to flatten the ocean surface below. Gravity beams ignite instantly, converging on Godzilla in three blinding lances. Godzilla braces. The beams strike his chest. His body slides backward through the air, scales burning under the impact. Steam explodes outward as ocean water vaporizes beneath him, but he doesn't fall. His dorsal spines ignite. Blue light surges upward along his back, growing brighter with each passing second. His jaws open wide. Atomic breath fires. A concentrated beam of blue-white radiation slams into Ghidorah mid-charge. The impact halts him instantly, energy ripping across his scales in a violent explosion of light. Ghidorah roars in fury, his advance stopped. For a moment, they are equals. Energy against energy. Force against force. The sky itself fractures around their collision. Shockwaves ripple outward in expanding rings, flattening waves and tearing apart storm systems. Lightning bends towards the epicenter, drawn into the gravitational chaos of their clash. Goku watches in stunned silence. He can feel the scale of it. Not just power, but endurance. Neither opponent weakens immediately. Neither yields. This is war between living forces of nature. Godzilla pushes forward, atomic breath intensifying. The beam drives Ghidorah backward through layers of storm cloud, golden scales cracking under the sustained assault. Ghidorah's wings falter briefly. Hope flickers. Then Ghidorah adapts. His center head lowers, adjusting angle. The gravity beams shift frequency midstream, their golden light darkening, condensing. They punch through Godzilla's atomic breath. The collision explodes outward. Godzilla's beam fractures, collapsing under the pressure. Ghidorah's gravity beams strike his shoulder, then his chest. Godzilla roars in pain. His massive body plummets from the sky, slamming into the ocean with catastrophic force. Tsunamis erupt outward instantly, racing toward distant coastlines. He rises again, but slower now. Ghidorah descends after him without hesitation. All three heads attack simultaneously. Jaws clamp onto Godzilla's neck. Another bites into his shoulder. The third fires gravity beams point-blank into his torso. Godzilla thrashes violently, claws raking across Ghidorah's scales, tearing away chunks of golden armor. But the damage seals almost instantly. Regeneration fueled by the dimensional anomaly still bleeding energy into Ghidorah's body. Ghidorah is stronger than before, stronger than ever. Godzilla fires another atomic blast, but it's weaker now. Ghidorah deflects it, wings beating violently as he lifts Godzilla partially from the ocean. Then he slams him back down. The impact cracks the seafloor beneath them. Godzilla struggles to rise again. His dorsal spines flicker, their glow unstable. Ghidorah roars in triumph. Gravity beams fire again, striking Godzilla across the chest and forcing him backward across the ocean's surface. Blue energy spills from the wounds, not blood but something deeper. Atomic fire itself leaking from his body. Godzilla stumbles. For the first time, he retreats. Not in surrender, in survival. He turns, diving beneath the ocean, vanishing into the depths in a desperate withdrawal. Ghidorah does not follow. He hovers above the sea, victorious. Golden wings spread wide as the storm bends around him once more. High above, Goku watches silently. His fists tighten. He had felt Godzilla's strength, his balance, his defiance, and Ghidorah had driven him back. Below, the ocean churns where Godzilla disappeared, glowing faintly with the last traces of bleeding atomic fire. The silence after the storm feels wrong. Not peaceful, not calm, wrong. Smoke rolls across the shattered coastline in thick, choking waves. Buildings that once pierced the sky now lie broken, like fallen gravestones. Their steel skeletons twisted and glowing faintly from residual heat. The ocean itself seems to recoil, its surface disturbed by something deeper than wind or tide. And standing alone on a fractured stretch of concrete, Goku doesn't move. His orange gi is torn along the shoulder. Ash clings to his skin. His breathing is steady, but his eyes are distant. He can still feel them, Two presences unlike anything he has ever encountered. Godzilla's ancient burning fury. Ghidorah's cold alien supremacy. Goku slowly clenches his fist. "They're still fighting," he murmurs. His voice is quiet, almost uncertain. Above him, military aircraft circle cautiously at the edge of the airspace, their searchlights scanning the devastation. None dare fly too close. They aren't searching for enemies. They're searching for survivors. Goku turns his head. A collapsed highway stretches into the distance. Beneath it, he hears something faint. A voice. Weak. Human. Without hesitation, he vanishes. He reappears beneath the broken structure, crouching beside a crushed emergency vehicle. The metal groans softly as he lifts it with one hand, setting it aside like paper. Inside, a Monarch technician lies trapped beneath debris, breathing shallowly. Her eyes widen as she sees him. Not the monsters, not the soldiers. Him. "You're..." she whispers. Goku smiles gently. "Hey, don't worry." He kneels, carefully lifting the shattered beam, pinning her leg. His strength is absolute, but his touch is careful, precise. She winces, but she's alive. That's what matters. As he helps her sit upright, her gaze drifts to the horizon, where distant thunder still echoes. "Godzilla," she breathes. "He tried." Her voice trembles. "But Ghidorah, he's too strong." Goku doesn't answer immediately, because he felt it too. Godzilla, the guardian of this world, was pushed back, not defeated, but hurt. For the first time since Goku arrived here, he understands something clearly. This isn't his Earth. There's no capsule corp, no Kami, no Dragon Balls waiting quietly atop a sacred tower, no reset button, no second chances. If this world falls, it stays fallen. The realization settles into his chest like a weight he's never carried before. He looks down at his hands, hands that have fought gods, hands that have saved entire universes. And yet, this time, there's no one guiding him here, no Whis watching calmly from afar, no Beerus testing him for amusement. This fight isn't part of some cosmic balance. This is survival, pure and simple. The Monarch technician watches him carefully. "You fought it," she says weakly. "Didn't you?" Goku pauses. He remembers Ghidorah's eyes, that endless, merciless intelligence. He remembers the feeling of its power, not chaotic, not emotional, predatory. He nods once. Yes. Fear flickers across her face. "Then you know," she whispers. Goku stands slowly, turning toward the ocean. The wind carries the scent of salt and ash. "I do." He closes his eyes, extends his senses outward, across the planet. He feels cities trembling under evacuation, families running, soldiers preparing weapons that won't matter, and far beyond, Ghidorah, alive, dominant, waiting. Goku opens his eyes. For the first time since arriving here, his expression changes. Not excitement, not curiosity, resolve. This isn't a tournament. This isn't about testing limits. This is about protecting people who can't protect themselves. People who don't even understand what's coming. He exhales slowly. "I always liked fighting strong opponents," he says quietly. The technician listens, confused. Goku's voice hardens, not with anger, but with clarity. "But this..." He looks at the horizon. "This isn't just a fight." Above the clouds, lightning flickers faintly. Ghidorah's presence spreads like a disease across the sky. Goku tightens his fist. If he walks away, this world dies. If he loses, there is no coming back. No Dragon Balls to fix the damage. No miracle waiting at the end. Only extinction. For the first time in his life, the outcome truly matters, not for pride, not for growth, but for them. He glances once more at the injured technician, at the broken city, at the fragile lives caught between gods, and then he looks up. His posture straightens, his fear disappears, replaced by something far stronger. Choice. "I'll stop him," Goku says. Not loudly, not dramatically, just certainty. The wind begins to rise around him as far across the horizon thunder answer, as if the King of Terror itself has heard. Goku doesn't flinch, because now, for the first time since entering this world, he isn't fighting for himself. He's fighting for a planet that cannot save itself. And somewhere in the storm, something begins to move toward him. The first satellite dies without warning. High above Earth's atmosphere, it flickers once, its signal dissolving into static. Its solar panels crackle with blue electricity, systems overloading in milliseconds. Then, silently, it goes dark. Half a world away, another follows. Then another. And another. Inside Monarch's orbital command center, alarms erupt in a deafening cascade. Satellite 7 is offline. Thermal spike detected. No, that's impossible. Energy readings exceeding nuclear thresholds. Technicians scramble between glowing consoles as red warning symbols multiply across digital maps of the planet. Entire communication grids collapse like dominoes. On the larger screen, a live orbital feed zooms toward the source, and every voice in the room falls silent. Ghidorah hovers within the storm. His massive wings stretch wider than cities, their golden membranes illuminated by endless lightning. Each of his three heads moves independently, scanning, calculating, hunting. Bolts of gravity-borne electricity erupt from his bodies into the sky, not randomly but precisely. Targeting. Above him, satellites spark and rupture as his energy lashes outward, dragging power from them like a predator draining prey. Metal melts mid-orbit, fragments scattering like burning snow. He isn't destroying them, he's feeding. Far below, across continents, power grids begin to fail. Cities flicker. Lights dim, then vanish. Nuclear facilities shudder as their reactors spike violently, sensors overwhelmed by an external force they cannot contain. Energy is being pulled, extracted, rewritten. Ghidorah tilts his central head upward, jaws opening slowly. The storm answers. Lightning crashes down into him, not harming him, but merging with him. His scales glow brighter, veins of golden energy crawling across his colossal form like living circuits. He grows stronger, not just physically, systemically, planetarily. Miles away, standing alone on the ruined coastline, Goku feels it instantly. He looks up. The sky has changed. The clouds are no longer drifting naturally. They spiral unnaturally, pulled into a massive rotating vortex, stretching beyond the horizon. Lightning pulses rhythmically like a heartbeat. Not weather. A system. A living system. Goku narrows his eyes. He's changing the planet. The air itself feels heavier, charged, unstable. He extends his senses again, but something is wrong. The Earth's natural energy, the calm, balanced flow he felt before, is being drowned beneath something invasive, something alien. something dominant. Far beyond the clouds, Ghidorah's presence expands. Not just a creature, a force. Inside Monarch's underground command bunker, Dr. Eileen Chen stares at the live planetary feed, her face pale. "That's not possible," she whispers. Beside her, another scientist shakes his head in disbelief. "He's integrating with the grid," he says. "Satellites, nuclear reactors, electrical networks. He's absorbing everything." "Not absorbing," Chen corrects softly. She watches the storm patterns reorganize in real time. He's rewriting it. The storm expands outward from Ghidorah's position, covering oceans, continents, skies. The planet's atmosphere itself begins to respond. Global temperatures spike erratically. Pressure systems collapse and reform instantly. Weather ceases to behave naturally. It obeys him. A Monarch officer turns towards Chase, fear barely contained. What happens if he completes the process? Chen doesn't answer immediately, because she already knows. This isn't domination. This is terraforming. He isn't conquering Earth. He's converting it, turning it into something compatible with himself. A world of constant storms, constant electricity, constant submission. A world where he is not just king, but ecosystem. High above the ocean, Ghidorah roars. The sound tears across the sky like a divine command. Lightning erupts outward in every direction, reaching higher than ever before. The clouds darken instantly. Not grey, black. Sunlight itself begins to vanish behind the storm's expansion. Daylight fades into permanent twilight. Across the world, people look up in terror as the sky dims unnaturally fast. In cities, in forests, in deserts, in oceans, the storm reaches everywhere. On the coastline, Goku watches silently. His hair rustles in the charged wind. His expression is calm, but his eyes reflect the truth. This isn't just a strong opponent anymore. This is escalation beyond anything he's faced on a planetary scale. Ghidorah isn't just increasing his power. He's anchoring himself to the world itself, becoming part of it, making defeat harder with every passing second. Goku clenches his fist. If he finishes this, he doesn't finish the thought. He doesn't need to, because he can feel it. The longer Ghidorah remains unchecked, the harder he will be to stop, not because of strength alone, because the battlefield itself will belong to him. Suddenly, a massive surge of energy erupts from the center of the storm. Far beyond the horizon, Ghidorah's presence spikes violently, tripling in intensity. The clouds spiral faster. Lightning becomes constant. The sky darkens further. And for the first time, Goku feels something unfamiliar, not fear, urgency, real urgency. He looks upward, eyes sharp, body still, because he understands now. This isn't a battle waiting to happen. It's already happening. And with every second he waits, the planet itself is slipping away. The idea sounds like suicide the moment it's spoken. No conventional weapon can stop him, the Monarch general says, his voice tight as the war room trembles under distant thunder. So we stop thinking conventionally. The massive holographic display in the center of the chamber flickers to life, projecting a rotating cross-section of the Earth. Layers peel away digitally, revealing something hidden beneath the crust. A glowing core, not molten rock. Energy. Ancient, vast, alive. Dr. Eileen Chen steps forward, her face illuminated by its blue light. The hollow Earth isn't just a subterranean ecosystem. she says quietly. It's the source of Titan evolution, the origin point of their power. Energy currents pulse through the hologram like veins. If Ghidorah is allowed to fully synchronize with Earth's atmosphere, she continues, he becomes inseparable from the planet. But if we force him into the Hollow Earth's convergence zone, she hesitates. He'll be entering an energy field that doesn't belong to him. The general finishes her thought. It will weaken him. Silence fills the room, because everyone understands the other half of that truth. Someone has to bring him there. Outside, the storm churns endlessly above Monarch's Pacific forward base. Lightning fractures the sky in blinding bursts, illuminating the ocean in flashes of white. Standing alone at the edge of the platform, Goku stares upward. He can feel Ghidorah's presence everywhere now, pressing down on the planet, suffocating it. Behind him, the sound of boots approaches. Dr. Chen stops a few feet away. "Oh, you heard," she says. It isn't a question. Goku nods once. He's connected to the sky, he says calmly, but not the world below. Chen studies him carefully. You understand what we're asking? He turns to face her. There's no hesitation in his eyes. I'll bring him there. Chen's breath catches slightly. You don't know if you'll survive. Goku smiles faintly. I know. There's no bravado in his voice, no arrogance, just acceptance. Because for the first time since arriving on this earth, this isn't about proving himself. It's about protecting something fragile, something that can't fight back. Chen lowers her gaze briefly and then nods. Then we begin immediately. Far out in the Pacific, the ocean begins to rise, not with waves, with presence. The water bulges upward as something massive ascends from the abyss. The surface ruptures in a violent explosion of foam and vapor as Godzilla emerges. His massive dorsal plates glow faintly, pulsing with atomic energy. He is wounded. Scars line his armored body. Burns from Ghidorah's gravity beam still glow faintly across his scales, but his eyes burn with undiminished fury. He has returned, not as prey, not as victim, as challenger. Monarch ships scatter at a safe distance, their sensors struggling to track his immense biosignature. Inside one of the command vessels, alarms blare. Godzilla has entered the operational zone. Energy output increasing. Is he targeting us? No, Chen says quietly, watching the feed. He isn't here for them. He's here for something else. On the platform, Goku feels him instantly. A presence unlike Ghidorah's, not invasive, not alien, ancient, grounded, balanced. He turns slowly. Godzilla stands hundreds of meters away, his massive form towering above the waves. Water cascades off his body like rain. His glowing eyes fix onto the small figure standing on the platform. Goku doesn't move, doesn't power up, doesn't attack. He simply stands. The wind howls between them, carrying the weight of two warriors from different worlds. Godzilla steps forward, the ocean trembling beneath his weight. Each movement deliberate, measured, not aggression. Assessment. He studies Goku the way a king studies an unknown challenger. Goku meets his gaze without fear. He can feel it clearly. Godzilla doesn't see him as prey. He sees him as something else, something unfamiliar, something worthy of attention. Godzilla's dorsal plates flicker faintly. Energy hums through his body. Goku remains still, calm. I'm not your enemy, he says softly. Godzilla doesn't understand the words, but he understands the intent, because he can feel Goku's energy. It isn't destructive. It isn't territorial. It's focused, purposeful. A warrior's energy and not a conqueror's. The storm above them roars violently, lightning illuminating both figures in blinding flashes. For a moment, neither moves. Two protectors of different worlds. Two forces standing against the same extinction. Godzilla exhales slowly, a low rumble vibrating across the ocean's surface. Not a roar. A warning. He turns his gaze upward, toward the storm, toward Ghidorah. Then slowly, deliberately, he steps aside. Not submission. Recognition. Permission. Goku understands instantly. Godzilla isn't stopping him. He's allowing him. Trusting him. Goku smiles faintly. Thanks. He turns toward the storm. His body begins to rise from the platform, lifting effortlessly into the air. Behind him, Godzilla watches in silence. Two warriors, two last defenses, bound by a common enemy. As Goku ascends toward the darkened sky, Godzilla remains below, his dorsal plates glowing brighter in preparation. The plan has begun, and before Goku disappears into the storm, Godzilla looks directly at him one last time, and Goku looks back. The moment Goku crosses into the Hollow Earth convergence zone, the air itself begins to scream. Gravity twists. Light bends. The sky fractures into ribbons of blue and violet energy as the dimensional boundary destabilizes. Monarch's fleet hovers at maximum safe distance, every sensor screaming warnings. Inside the command vessel, Chen grips the console. He's entering the convergence field now. On screen, Goku floats at the center of a spiraling vortex of energy, his orange GI snapping violently in the windless distortion. Below him, the ocean is no longer stable. It churns inward, pulled toward an invisible point beneath the crust. The gateway to Hollow Earth. And behind him, the storm arrives. Ghidorah descends from the blackened sky like extinction given form. His wings stretch across miles of atmosphere, tearing clouds apart as his three heads roar in unified fury. Gravity beams crackle across their jaws, illuminating the convergence field in violent flashes of gold. He sees Goku. He remembers him, and he is furious. Without hesitation, Ghidorah attacks. 3 gravity beams erupt simultaneously. Goku vanishes. The beams slam into the convergence vortex, detonating in a blinding explosion of energy. Shock waves ripple across the ocean, sending massive waves crashing outward in every direction. But Goku reappears above Ghidorah, his body glowing faintly with controlled power. He strikes. His fist slams into the central head with devastating force. The impact echoes like thunder. Ghidorah's massive body buckles, forced downward into the convergence field. Energy lashes around him, reacting violently to his alien presence. The trap is working. Ghidorah roars, his wings thrashing violently as Hollow Earth energy begins to bind around his body like chains of light. Monarch's sensors spike. It's destabilizing his biostructure. He's weakening. Goku presses forward, striking again and again. Each blow forces Ghidorah deeper into the convergence field. Energy tears across the dragon's scales, disrupting his regenerative ability. For the first time since his return, Ghidorah is losing. The storm above flickers. His alpha signal falters. Hope ignites. But then, something changes. Ghidorah stops resisting. All 3 heads freeze mid-motion. His body goes still. Goku hesitates, hovering just beyond reach. What? The storm grows silent. Too silent. Ghidorah's center head slowly lifts. Its glowing eyes lock onto Goku, and then it smiles. The convergence field surges violently, not against Ghidorah, but around him, adapting, synchronizing. Dimensional energy begins to fuse with his body instead of rejecting it. Chen's voice cracks over the comms. No, that's not possible. Ghidorah's scales begin to fracture, not from damage, but from transformation. Golden light pours from the cracks in his flesh. His right head lets out a shriek unlike anything before, a sound of pure distortion. And then it separates, not torn, not severed, released. Reality itself splits around it as the right head tears free from the shared body, trailing lightning and dimensional energy. Its neck doesn't bleed. Instead, it dissolves into pure energy before reforming. A new body begins to grow. Wings of golden lightning unfold outward. A torso forms beneath it. Claws emerge. A new Ghidorah stands separate from the original. Not a clone. Not a duplicate. An independent entity. The original Ghidorah now remains with two heads, and the new one stands alone. Both roar simultaneously, but their roars are different, independent, aware. Chen stares at the readings in horror. It split its consciousness. Another alert appears instantly. Energy levels are rising, not stabilizing, multiplying. The convergence field isn't weakening Ghidorah, it's amplifying him. The original two-headed Ghidorah lunges forward, gravity beams firing at point-blank range. Goku barely escapes, vanishing just as the beams collide and tear open the sky itself. Behind him, the newly formed Ghidorah spreads its wings. It looks at its progenitor, then at Goku, learning, adapting, becoming. Goku floats between them, his breathing steady but his eyes sharper now. Focused, calculating. This isn't a single enemy anymore. This is something else. Two bodies, four minds, four predators working in perfect coordination. They attack simultaneously. Gravity beams from two directions converge on him. Goku powers up instantly, his aura flaring bright as he deflects the attack with crossed arms. The energy pushes him backward, forcing him through the convergence field itself. For the first time, he's losing ground. He steadies himself mid-air, staring at both entities. They hover without rushing, without panic. They know something he doesn't. They know they've already won this exchange. Goku lowers his arm slowly. His breathing remains calm. But inside, he understands now. This isn't an enemy he can defeat with power alone. Ghidorah isn't just fighting him. He's evolving faster than Goku can overpower him, adapting to every advantage, turning every trap into strength. The storm begins to grow again, darker, wider, hungrier. Goku tightens his fists, staring at the impossible enemy before him. For the first time since arriving on this earth, he isn't thinking about how hard he needs to hit. He's thinking about how he can possibly win at all. The sky breaks first, not metaphorically, physically. Hairline fractures spread across the heavens like cracks in glass, glowing with blinding blue-white light. The storm halts mid-motion, frozen by the sudden eruption of power rising from a single point in the air. Goku floats at the center of it, his fists clenched, his body trembling. Below him the ocean has gone still, not calm, but submissive. Even gravity seems uncertain. Across from him the two Ghidorahs hover in silence, watching, learning, waiting. Goku exhales slowly, his breath uneven. He can feel it now. The truth he's been avoiding since the second Ghidorah emerged. He cannot win like this. Not by holding back. Not by fighting safely. Not by fighting like he always has. His muscles tighten as energy begins to pour from deep within his core. Blue light ignites around his body. At first it flickers, unstable. Then it erupts. His aura explodes outward in a violent column of energy that punches through the storm itself. The clouds disintegrate instantly, vaporized by the pressure of his power. His hair shifts, glowing with a radiant blue sheen. His eyes sharpen. Super Saiyan Blue. The convergence field reacts violently. Lightning bends toward him, drawn by the intensity of his ki. Goku vanishes. He reappears in front of the original Ghidorah and drives his fist into its chest. The impact detonates like a nuclear blast. The massive titan is hurled backward, its scales cracking under the force. Before it can recover, Goku moves again, faster than thought. He strikes the second Ghidorah with a devastating kick, sending it crashing downward into the ocean below. Water erupts into the sky. For the first time, Ghidorah is being overwhelmed. Monarch's sensors spike wildly. He's surpassing previous output levels. Energy readings are off the scale. Goku presses the attack relentlessly. His movements are precise, controlled. Every strike lands with surgical perfection, targeting weak points, disrupting Ghidorah's regeneration. The original Ghidorah fires its gravity beams. Goku deflects them with one hand. He retaliates instantly, slamming both fists into its central head and driving it downward. The second Ghidorah rises from the ocean, roaring in fury. Goku turns, extending his hand. A sphere of blue energy forms instantly. Kamehameha! He fires. The beam tears across the sky, engulfing the second Ghidorah completely. Its wings disintegrate under the assault, its body driven back across miles of ocean. The storm begins to collapse. The alpha signal weakens. Hope surges. But then Ghidorah stops falling. Its destroyed wings begin to regenerate faster than before. Too fast. Goku narrows his eyes. Something's wrong. The golden lightning surrounding Ghidorah has changed. It's thicker, denser, hungry. The original Ghidorah rises again behind him, completely regenerated, unharmed. Goku freezes. He knows he damaged it. He felt the impact. But now, there's no trace of injury, only strength. Ghidorah's head tilts slightly, observing him, understanding him. The storm begins to move again, but now it moves differently. It moves with Goku's energy. Chen's voice echoes through Monarch's comms, filled with disbelief. It's absorbing it. On the monitors, impossible data floods the screens. Ghidorah's energy output is rising in perfect synchronization with Goku's. Not resisting. Matching. Feeding. Goku looks down at his glowing hand. His aura burns brighter, and Ghidorah's storm grows stronger with it. The second Ghidorah opens its jaws. Golden lightning pours inward, not from the sky, but from him. From his ki. Goku's eyes widen slightly. It's not just adapting to his attacks, it's consuming his power itself. It's every increase, every transformation, every escalation, makes Ghidorah stronger. The original Ghidorah roars and the storm expands instantly, covering thousands of miles in seconds. The sky darkens further. The planet suffocates beneath its shadow. Goku powers up again, his aura flaring brighter. And Ghidorah's storm expands again with it. A perfect reflection. A perfect predator. Goku stops. His aura flickers. He lowers his hands slowly. For the first time in this battle, he hesitates. Not out of fear, but realization. He cannot overpower this enemy, because this enemy is no longer just fighting him. It is becoming him. Across the sky, Ghidorah spreads its wings wider than ever before, its storm now infused with Saiyan energy. Its roar shakes the world, and Goku stands at the center of it, understanding the terrible truth. His greatest strength has just become Ghidorah's greatest weapon. The lights go out all at once. Not city by city, and not country by country. The entire planet. From orbit, Earth flickers and then falls into darkness. Power grids collapse in cascading failure. Satellites blink offline one after another, their systems fried by electromagnetic overload. Entire continents vanish into black voids, illuminated only by fires consuming what civilization once was. The storm has won the sky, and now it claims the ground. Above the Pacific, Ghidorah hovers at the center of a planetary superstorm unlike anything Earth has ever endured. Lightning arcs continuously between atmosphere and ocean, turning the air itself into a weapon. Every bolt carries intent, every pulse carries dominance. Titans across the world feel it. In the deserts, mountains, oceans, and buried caverns beneath the earth, ancient creatures stir. Some rise, some flee, some kneel. Ghidorah's alpha call is no longer a signal. It is law. In the ruins of a once great coastal city, a massive titan collapses mid-step. Its body trembles violently, its resistance shattered by the overwhelming command in the storm. It lowers itself slowly. Submission. Elsewhere, another titan attempts to resist. Lightning falls from orbit itself, striking it with apocalyptic force. The titan's roar becomes a scream, then silence. It falls, dead. Ghidorah does not tolerate defiance. Deep beneath the ocean's surface, something else stirs. Ancient, wounded. Godzilla rises slowly from the depths. His massive body is scarred, his movements heavy. Deep gashes mark his scales, still glowing faintly from gravity beam wounds that refuse to fully heal. His dorsal plates flicker weakly. He looks upward. He can feel it. The sky no longer belongs to him. Above, the storm churns endlessly, Ghidorah's presence poisoning the balance of the world itself. Godzilla roars, not in challenge, but in defiance. He begins to rise toward the surface. Above the water, Goku floats in silence. His aura is gone, not extinguished. Restrained. His eyes track the devastation unfolding across the planet. He watches cities burn. He watches titans submit. He watches the storm consume everything. This earth is dying. And he helped cause it. Far below him, Godzilla breaches the surface. Their eyes meet briefly, warrior to warrior. Both wounded, both outmatched, both refusing to surrender. But before either can act, Ghidorah moves. He ascends. Higher. Faster. His wings beat once, generating shockwaves that ripple across the atmosphere itself. Lightning coils around his body as he rises beyond the storm's upper limits, into the stratosphere. Then higher still, breaking into low orbit. Monarch's emergency systems react instantly. Inside their command center, alarms scream. He's leaving the atmosphere. Chen stares at the monitor in disbelief. Why would he retreat now? The answer comes seconds later. All remaining satellites still functioning begin to drift, pulled, drawn toward him. Their systems ignite in golden flame as Ghidorah absorbs their energy completely. Communication networks vanish entirely. Earth goes blind. Then, the magnetic field itself begins to distort. Auroras appear across every continent simultaneously, glowing violently in unnatural colors. The planet's shield is failing. Ghidorah spreads his wings in orbit. He is no longer just dominating Earth. He is rewriting it. Below, Godzilla attempts to rise further, but his body falters. He collapses back into the ocean. His strength isn't enough. Not anymore. Goku watches him fall. For the first time since arriving here, he sees Godzilla not as a rival, but as a fellow defender, and he sees the truth. This world has no Dragon Balls, no reset, no second chance. If it falls now, it falls forever. Across the planet, governments initiate their final contingency. Extinction protocol. Bunkers seal. Evacuation becomes survival lottery. Humanity prepares for the end of its era. Above it all, Ghidorah hovers in orbit like a new sun. Golden. Terrible. Absolute. His storm expands outward, swallowing the final remnants of Earth's blue sky, and Goku floats alone beneath it, watching a world burn, knowing that if he fails now, there will be nothing left to save. The breach is still open. It hangs above the dying ocean, like a wound in reality itself, bleeding light, bleeding energy, bleeding possibility. Goku stares at it. He hadn't noticed it fully before, not with Ghidorah tearing apart the sky, not with the world collapsing beneath him, but now with the storm dominating the upper atmosphere, the fracture between universes pulses more violently than ever, calling to him. He closes his eyes, and he feels it, not with sight, with instinct. The breach is feeding Ghidorah. Dimensional radiation continues to pour into this universe, accelerating the Titan's evolution, strengthening his ability to absorb energy, strengthening his ability to consume Ki itself. It isn't just Ghidorah that's the problem. It's the open door. Far below, Monarch's remaining instruments struggle to function. Chen leans over her console, watching the energy patterns fluctuate wildly. The anomaly's still expanding. Her voice is barely audible over the chaos. If it stabilizes completely, the dimensional barrier could collapse entirely. Another scientist looks at her. What happens then? She doesn't answer immediately, because she knows. Two universes would bleed into each other until neither survives. Above them, Goku opens his eyes. He understands now. This isn't a battle he wins by destroying Ghidorah. It's a battle he wins by closing the door that let him in. The realization settles heavily into his chest. He rises slowly, floating toward the breach. The closer he gets, the stronger it pulls at him. It recognizes him. He belongs to it. Golden lightning flashes across the sky as Ghidorah notices his movement. From orbit, the three-headed king turns. His storm reacts instantly. He knows what Goku is about to do, and he won't allow it. Gravity bends as Ghidorah begins his descent back toward Earth. Fast, violent, unstoppable. Goku watches him coming. He knows he doesn't have much time. He reaches out with his senses, touching the edges of the breach itself. It responds immediately. Energy coils around his hand, not hostile but alive, waiting. He feels the truth inside it. The breach can be sealed, but not gently, not safely. It requires balance. An anchor, a constant force to stabilize the dimensional tear until it closes permanently. Someone must hold it shut, from the inside or from the outside. Either way, there is no return. No escape. No Dragon Balls to undo the cost. No second chances, only sacrifice. Goku lowers his hand slowly. He looks down at the world below. Burning cities, darkened oceans, a wounded protector struggling to rise. He thinks of his friends, of Chi-Chi, of Gohan, of Vegeta, of all the battles fought, all the victories earned, all the promises made, and for the first time since arriving here, he knows he may never see them again. The thought doesn't break him. It centers him. Behind him, the storm grows louder. Ghidorah is almost here. The air trembles with his approach. Goku closes his eyes again, and for a moment, he isn't a warrior. He's a boy, standing beneath a quiet sky. His grandfather's voice echoes faintly in his memory. Not words of power, not words of victory, but words of purpose. Protect those who cannot protect themselves. Not because you have to, because you can. Goku smiles softly, not out of arrogance, not out of excitement, but peace. He opens his eyes. The breach pulses brighter in response. Behind him, Ghidorah's roar tears across the sky as he descends like extinction itself. Gravity beams already forming in his jaws. He's coming to stop him, to consume him, to end him. Goku turns fully toward the breach. His body relaxes. His fear disappears. There is no hesitation left. Only decision here, only purpose. He raises his hand and reaches toward the wound in reality, ready to give up everything to close it. The sky trembles with anticipation. Lightning forks across the horizon, illuminating the jagged ruins of what was once a bustling metropolis. Streets are rivers of molten metal and ash, skyscrapers reduced to skeletal frameworks, and the air is thick with ozone and scorched debris. From above, Ghidorah hovers like a dark sun, his three heads scanning, calculating, feeding off the chaos below. Goku hovers above the city, aura flaring bright blue, his hair shifting as if the energy of the universe itself courses through him. He doesn't speak. He doesn't hesitate. His eyes are locked on Ghidorah. Every instinct screams danger, every muscle ready to explode with power. From the depths of the ocean, Godzilla rises. His dorsal plates glow with a faint luminescent blue, scars of previous blows marking his titanic form. Despite his wounds, there's determination in every movement. His massive tail lashes the water violently, sending tidal waves crashing against the broken coastline. Goku glances down, meeting Godzilla's eyes. There is no need for words, both understand. Both recognize the threat before them. For the first time in history, two champions of different worlds prepare to act as one. Ghidorah senses it too. One of his heads twists unnaturally, analyzing the sudden coordination of atomic energy and ki. He roars, a multi-tone sound that reverberates through the fractured atmosphere, but there's a hesitation this time, subtle but unmistakable. The storm that has dominated the earth for so long falters, ripples of doubt spreading through the monstrous titan's form. Goku unleashes the first strike. A concentrated ki wave erupts from his palms, streaking across the air with blinding speed, tearing through clouds and scattering debris. The force slams against Ghidorah's central head, deflecting a gravity beam but not stopping it. Simultaneously, Godzilla releases his atomic breath. The concentrated beam tears through the air, colliding with Goku's ki wave in mid-flight. The fusion creates an immense explosion of light and energy, momentarily blotting out the storm and illuminating every corner of the shattered city below. Ghidorah thrashes violently, one head snapping toward the source of the attack. The other two heads fire independently, gravity beams lancing outward. But Goku moves with supernatural speed, weaving between them, and Godzilla shifts his massive body to absorb, deflect, and redirect the energy. Every movement is synchronized, a deadly dance of precision and raw power. The central head of Ghidorah screeches as the combined assault lands directly upon it. Sparks of golden energy flare wildly across its scales. The other two heads attempt to compensate, firing beams from new angles, but Goku and Godzilla anticipate them perfectly. One ki-infused atomic blast strikes the central head with unprecedented force. There is a violent eruption, a shockwave that tears across miles, shattering the surrounding skyline, tossing debris into the air and sending tidal waves crashing down. For a brief, suspended moment, the central head hangs in the air, quivering, exposed. Its golden eyes widen, not in fear, but in realization. Its dominance is being challenged in a way it has never experienced. Then it collapses, permanently. The head disintegrates under the relentless fusion of Godzilla's atomic breath and Goku's concentrated ki vaporizing into streaks of molten energy. Ghidorah's body shudders violently, wings beating frantically, but the loss destabilizes him. The storm around him flickers, energy surging erratically as the remaining two heads hiss in fury, now reacting to the unprecedented loss. Goku hovers above, breath steady, aura blazing bright. He watches, calculating his next move, knowing the fight has only just entered a new, terrifying phase. Godzilla releases a thunderous roar of triumph, yet it is tempered by the awareness that this is far from over. The remaining heads are stronger, adaptive, and faster than ever before. Monarch's command center is a controlled chaos. Sensors spike, alarms scream, and yet for the first time in days, hope threads through the tension. Chen whispers, They did it. One head, destroyed. But the battle isn't over. Below, the city trembles under the residual shockwaves, buildings teetering, the streets fractured. Citizens hidden in bunkers feel the pulse of a power far beyond comprehension, yet somehow a spark of survival ignites in their hearts. Goku looks at the remaining heads of Ghidorah. He clenches his fists, his eyes narrowing. The strategy has worked, but he knows brute force alone won't finish the fight. The Titans are changing, adapting, and he must evolve faster. Godzilla shifts, unleashing a low, resonant growl that echoes across the fractured land and sky, signaling the silent agreement. They fight as one until this threat is gone, or until the planet itself can no longer endure. Ghidorah roars again, fury and disbelief entwined. One head is gone, but the remaining two radiate renewed, more dangerous energy. The storm builds once more, darker, hungrier, stretching across continents. Goku smiles faintly beneath the storm. He knows the next phase will demand more than power. It will demand ingenuity, trust, and sacrifice. The alliance is formed. The final act has begun. And from the shadows of the collapsing world, a spark of hope flickers as both Saiyan and Titan prepare to face the unimaginable together. The sky bleeds gold and white. Ghidorah rises above the fractured clouds, his wings cutting through the upper atmosphere like razors of molten lightning. The remaining two heads scan the horizon with predatory calculation, eyes glowing as they absorb energy from every visible source, cities, oceans, satellites, and nuclear grids alike. Goku rockets after him, his aura a blazing blue flame against the blackened sky. The higher he goes, the thinner the air becomes, but his ki slices through the vacuum, every movement precise, every motion defiant. His eyes narrow as he watches Ghidorah's wings beat, generate shockwaves that ripple across the stratosphere, scattering clouds and igniting the upper atmosphere in streaks of gold lightning. Below, Earth waits in silence. Humanity is powerless to intervene. Monarch's instruments tremble under the strain of the energy readings. Satellites spin uncontrollably, oceans shimmer with unnatural light, and cities glow faintly through the haze of electromagnetic storms. Across the globe, every human, every remaining titan, every living creature feels it. The planet itself is being manipulated as a weapon. Ghidorah hovers just beyond low orbit, stretching his wings to unimaginable spans. Gravity bends around him. Energy arcs between his wings, forming plasma conduits that snake outward, threatening to engulf the planet in a catastrophic pulse of electromagnetic force. The sun itself seems to pale against the storm of his making, shadows clawing across the earth as though the star were being devoured. Goku flies beside him, aura flaring against the cosmic expanse. "I won't let you do this," he says aloud, voice firm despite the windless vacuum. His words are carried only by his ki, a whisper of defiance that resonates through the storm. The two clash mid-orbit. Goku's ki meets Ghidorah's plasma wings in a burst of blinding energy. Sparks explode outward, radiating across the curve of the planet below, illuminating oceans and continents alike. The force of the collision fractures the upper atmosphere, sending shockwaves cascading toward Earth. Tiny fragments of satellites disintegrate in the heat and radiation of the encounter. Ghidorah roars, a sound that echoes like rolling thunder across the void. Gravity beams lances from each head, converging into a singular arc of concentrated power aimed at Earth. Entire magnetic fields ripple in response, and Goku immediately intercepts, forming a radiant sphere of energy around himself. The beams collide, creating an aurora of light and destruction. For a moment, time seems suspended. The sun appears to dim, eclipsed by the storm raging above. From Earth, people stare skyward in awe and terror, seeing a battle so immense it reshapes the very silhouette of their world. Cities glow faintly beneath the shadow of the cosmic duel. Fires burning in abandoned streets, oceans churning violently under unseen tidal forces. Goku dodges a lightning strike that arcs between Ghidorah's wings and slams into the vacuum around him, displacing chunks of frozen cloud and ice into orbit. He fires a concentrated blast from both hands, striking the central head directly. The explosion rattles Ghidorah, forcing him to retreat slightly, but his momentum is unstoppable. "You're strong," Goku mutters, letting a small smile touch his lips despite the devastation below. "But I'm not leaving without stopping this." His body glows brighter as he begins pushing into higher levels of Super Saiyan Blue, energy crackling violently, tears forming in the plasma storm around him. Ghidorah senses the escalation. His heads move independently now, coordinating gravity beams and lightning arcs in precise unison, adapting to Goku's movements instantly. The cosmos itself seems to quake under the sheer energy being wielded. Goku matches it. Every movement is a calculated strike. Every blast timed to counter the relentless assault of Ghidorah's plasma storm. Sparks and arcs flash across the vacuum, energy tearing at the very molecules of the upper atmosphere. Below, Earth rotates silently, watching its guardians fight above, powerless yet witnessing a spectacle of pure cosmic scale. Suddenly, one of Ghidorah's gravity beams grazes the Earth's ionosphere, producing a dazzling aurora that stretches across continents. Satellites explode in radiant arcs, and the magnetic field quivers violently. Monarch's comms crackle. This This is beyond anything we've ever measured, Chen whispers, eyes wide. Goku clenches his fists. It does. He feels the planet's heartbeat beneath him, fragile but alive. His aura flares brighter, linking subtly with Earth's energy, stabilizing the balance even as Ghidorah seeks to annihilate it. And then, a strike. A well-aimed ki wave slams into one of Ghidorah's heads, temporarily stunning it. For the first time in the battle, the Titan falters, wings shaking. Mid-flight, the storm wavers. Goku seizes the moment, rising higher, determination burning in every fiber of his being. His gaze locks on Ghidorah's staggered head. He knows the attack must count. Every ounce of his energy focused, every strike precise, every movement lethal. And from Earth, all life below watches in silence, unable to intervene but bound to witness the struggle above. The struggle that would decide whether the planet survives or succumbs to a storm that devours even the sun. The stars fracture beneath the weight of their power. Goku rockets higher than he ever has before, tearing past the thermosphere, leaving the stratosphere far below him as clouds and auroras twist in his wake. The auroras themselves flare violently, reacting to the energy surging around him. Electricity snapping across space like shattered glass. Ghidorah follows, wings beating against the vacuum with impossible force. Plasma arcs crackling between his three heads, each one screaming with fury. The dimensional breach hovers nearby, a raw wound in reality, pulsing with unstable energy. It shivers as if anticipating the inevitable confrontation, threatening to collapse under the strain of the forces converging above the planet. Goku senses it, not just the tear, but the universal pressure it exerts, bending time and energy around him. Every heartbeat echoes through his body, amplified by his heightened ki. Ghidorah lunges. Gravity beams slice outward in golden arcs, catching fragments of clouds and auroras, tearing them apart like paper. Goku dodges with instinctual precision, the speed of light guiding him, yet even this is not enough. Plasma strikes graze his aura, leaving streaks of burned energy across the void. Each movement is a blur, every clash a flash brighter than any sun. He pushes further, feeling the universe hum beneath him. Blue flares ignite across his body as he ascends beyond his previous Super Saiyan Blue form. Sparks of white-hot energy crackle along his aura. He's reaching a level of power that strains the very fabric of this earth and the dimensional bridge. His eyes narrow, calm and resolute, as he channels every ounce of energy he has into a singular purpose, not just to fight Ghidorah, but to stabilize the fracture threatening all realities. Ghidorah senses it immediately. One head snaps toward him, eyes widening with instinctual terror. He's adaptive, ruthless and intelligent, yet this surge of energy, this pure, godlike power, is beyond his comprehension. Plasma arcs spiral frantically around him as he attempts to retaliate, but Goku is already moving faster, weaving between the beams with the fluidity of a storm. Their collision explodes across the upper atmosphere. Ki waves slam against gravity beams, the resulting energy ripping through the auroras, sending streaks of unnatural light cascading down to Earth like molten rain. The breach pulses violently, writhing, as though it recognizes the struggle above. Reality itself trembles. Space flickers like a failing signal, stars winking out momentarily as if shocked by the force. Goku's voice is calm amidst the chaos. "This ends now," he whispers, not to Ghidorah, not to the breach, but to himself. His energy peaks, the aura expanding into a radiant sphere that stretches hundreds of meters, the pure, white-hot brilliance of overdrive energy burning against the void. His hair glows with a spectral radiance shimmering between gold and blue, lightning crackling across the plasma of his aura. Ghidorah strikes again, but the waves meet Goku's force head-on. One gravity beam shatters against the overwhelming ki, another arcs harmlessly into the void. The Titan's roar echoes through space, distorted and alien, shaking the surrounding cosmic particles. One head begins to falter, energy destabilizing in response to the intense car flooding the environment. The dimensional tear begins to collapse violently. It shudders as if resisting, strands of raw energy twisting inward like a star imploding upon itself. Fractures form along the edges of reality, black cracks snaking outward, threatening to destabilize everything in their wake. Goku senses the surge, feeling the pull of multiple universes all at once, bending toward destruction. He pushes harder. Each movement, each strike, each pulse of energy is precise. His overdrive ki lashes out in beams, arcs, and waves, slicing through plasma and gravity energy alike. Ghidorah's form quivers, wings flailing, head snapping in uncontrolled arcs as the Titan's stability fractures under the sustained assault. And still Goku does not relent. He draws energy not only from himself, but from the planet below, from the faint sparks of residual ki lingering in the atmosphere, anchoring it, holding it steady. His mind is clear, his heart is steady. The fight is no longer about victory, and it's about survival, of Earth, of life, of reality itself. Below, humanity watches in stunned silence, eyes fixed upward at the collapsing auroras, the twisted light, the flashes that rival the sun itself. Cities tremble, oceans churn, yet all life holds its breath, sensing that the fate of everything rests on the battle far above. Goku lets out a roar, channeling every fragment of energy into one final, disciplined push. The dimensional tear shudders violently, coils inward, begins to fold upon itself, like molten metal cooling in on its own heat. Ghidorah thrashes, but his fury is now matched by desperation. He senses the finality coming, and in that suspended moment space itself holds its breath. The storm of energy crackles, the auroras pulse, and Goku's aura burns brighter than any sun, standing as the singular anchor against collapse. The dimensional tear cannot endure much longer. A revelation hits him mid-flight. The universe will bend around him, or it will cease to exist entirely. There is no margin for error, no second chance. Every ounce of his being must synchronize with the fabric of reality itself. And as the auroras streak like molten ribbons across the void, the dimensional tear begins to collapse, violently, irreversibly, impossibly, heralding the final decisive phase of a battle that will determine the fate of multiple worlds. The void trembles. Ghidorah hovers above the collapsing breach, wings beating with frenzied fury, plasma arcs lancing outward like malignant serpents. The two remaining heads snap in perfect unison, scanning for any weakness, any fluctuation in Goku's energy. But Goku is no longer reacting. He is calculating, centering, absorbing the rhythm of the storm and bending it toward a singular purpose. Below, Godzilla emerges from the shattered remnants of the ocean, dorsal plates glowing with atomic intensity. The water around him steams and churns as he braces, tail lashing the debris-strewn seas. Monarch scientists frantically coordinate, aligning the remaining energy channels from the nuclear grid's satellites and planetary feedback to feed into Godzilla's atomic breath. Every measurement, every calculation, every protocol has been designed for this moment, the final strike. Goku hovers above the Titan, aura blazing with overdrive intensity. He closes his eyes briefly, hands extending forward, fingers curling as he channels every ounce of ki into a single refined conduit. Sparks of raw energy arc outward, weaving into Godzilla's atomic beam like molten threads. The fusion is volatile, luminous, and terrifying. Waves of golden blue light streak across the void, illuminating the fractured earth below in a spectral glow. Ghidorah senses it. His central head recoils, eyes widening as a shockwave of energy strikes him mid-flight. Gravity beams scatter harmlessly into space. Plasma arcs crack and twist uncontrollably, wings flailing as the pressure mounts. He roars, a multi-tonal, ear-splitting sound that vibrates through the vacuum itself, shaking the debris of satellites, frozen clouds, and orbiting dust. Goku's eyes snap open, determination etched into every line of his face. His aura flares brighter than the sun itself, white-hot and violent. "This ends here!" he shouts, unleashing the final surge into Godzilla's breath. The atomic blast flares, twisting into a hyper-focused column of energy that snakes toward Ghidorah's core. The collision is instantaneous. Ghidorah's form convulses violently. The remaining heads writhe as the combined strike pierces deep into the central consciousness. Sparks, plasma, and ki collide in a violent explosion of light and sound, brighter than any sun ever seen from Earth. The shockwave tears across space and atmosphere, buffeting Goku and Godzilla with staggering force. Yet they hold, locked in the apex moment of coordinated power. The Titan's roar crescendos, then falters. His body trembles as the energy penetrates, consuming the very essence of his core consciousness. One head flickers, another quivers, wings beating frantically to stabilize what cannot be stabilized. For a brief heartbeat, the universe seems to pause. Every human on Earth feels the sudden drop in energy, a vacuum of terror and awe. Then it happens. Ghidorah explodes from the inside out, not in fragments, not in simple fire, but in a cascade of imploding energy that consumes the remnants of his plasma form. The gravity beams collapse, arcs of electricity shatter mid-air, and a blinding flash radiates across low orbit. The dark storm that had threatened Earth for so long is gone, leaving only scattered debris and a ringing silence in its wake. Goku hovers amidst the dissipating light, chest heaving, eyes scanning for any sign of further threat. The void is empty. Ghidorah is gone. A sense of calmness, fragile and fleeting, settles over the battlefield. But it is incomplete. Something pulls at him, subtle yet insistent. He realizes, almost too late, that the collapsing dimensional rift, the same one that brought him here, is drawing him back. Godzilla roars, but it is no roar of dominance. It is recognition. His massive head tilts towards Goku, eyes glowing faintly, dorsal plates shimmering with acknowledgement. He has fought alongside the Saiyan and witnessed the unyielding spirit that turned annihilation into survival. The roar carries weight, gravitas, and something almost human in its resonance. Goku's aura flares as the rift accelerates its pull. He grasps at the energy around him, fingers clawing at the strands of reality, trying to stabilize them. He feels the universe tugging him in multiple directions at once, a violent reminder that his choices have consequences beyond the fight. Monarch's instruments go haywire as they track the rift's energy. Chen's voice cracks through the comms, trembling. "Goku, he's being pulled. Faster than anything we can measure." Goku smiles faintly, eyes meeting Godzilla's one last time. "Take care of this world," he whispers. He knows he may never see it again. His ki flares in one final burst, anchoring the rift long enough to ensure Earth's safety, then begins to tear inward, carrying him away from the planet he has fought so hard to protect. Below, Earth rotates silently, oceans churning, cities smoking, yet untouched by the chaos that had consumed it for so long. Godzilla watches the empty sky where Goku had hovered, dorsal plates dimming as if acknowledging the Saiyan's sacrifice. The rift snaps closed behind him, leaving a vacuum in space, a memory in the hearts of those who witnessed it. Godzilla roars again, a sound of both mourning and respect, reverberating across the atmosphere, a testament to the alliance, the victory, and the hero who fought beyond worlds. And as Earth spins silently beneath the fading auroras, one truth remains: the battle is over. Ghidorah is gone, but the hero who saved the planet may never return. The first light of dawn cuts through the remnants of a fractured sky, painting the clouds in molten gold and violet streaks. Smoke curls from the ruins of cities, twisting into the wind as if trying to escape the memory of devastation. The ocean, once a turbulent battlefield, lies calm now, reflecting the scarred sky above like a dark mirror. Titans stir in their deep sanctuaries, heavy bodies shifting in dormancy, their primal growls fading into silence. The world exhales for the first time in weeks. Humanity emerges cautiously from their shelters. Soldiers and civilians alike tread over broken highways and collapsed bridges, eyes wide with disbelief, hearts heavy with loss but alive. Fires smolder in distant districts, and the air is thick with the acrid smell of smoke and ozone, remnants of atomic and key energy that had once turned the Earth into a war zone. In scattered city squares, small groups gather, pointing towards the sky, whispering names and tales of what transpired above. Their whispers carry awe, fear, and gratitude, threads weaving a fragile tapestry of hope. In the Pacific, Godzilla surfaces slowly, water cascading off his massive frame. His dorsal plates glow faintly, no longer a warning of war, but a quiet assertion of order. He moves with deliberate patience, scanning the horizon. His eyes, ancient and weary, reflect a world saved, yet irreversibly changed. The king of the monsters lets out a low, resonant roar, not a call to battle, but a signal, a reclamation of dominion over a planet left fragile but intact. Yet the greatest presence is absent. The air feels hollow where Goku once hovered, where Ki had crackled and lit the upper atmosphere with impossible brilliance. The rift that tore through dimensions has long since collapsed, leaving nothing but faint residual traces of energy, like embers of a fire that once burned across the stars. Monarch's teams monitor the residual readings, but even their instruments cannot fully capture what remains, an imprint of a warrior, a cosmic spark scattered across time and space. In a silent observation post atop a crumbling skyscraper, a young technician kneels, eyes closed, fingers brushing a console. She whispers to herself, voice trembling, "He's gone, but I feel him. Somehow." Across the world, similar reactions echo in the hearts of those who had glimpsed the extraordinary, the pilots, scientists, and soldiers who had survived the last strike. The reality of survival is interwoven with the void left by the hero who fought beyond worlds. Godzilla moves inland now, each step shaking the earth beneath him, yet tempered with the caution of one who has witnessed catastrophe. He passes cities, forests, and mountains scarred by battle, his eyes lingering on the remnants of Titan's influence, the craters, the broken peaks, the lightning-scorched plains. Though the earth bears deep wounds, there is a rhythm in the chaos, a slow, steady pulse of life, the resilient heartbeat of a world unwilling to surrender. Monarch scientists gather on a ridge overlooking the Pacific, faces shadowed by the rising sun. Charts, readings, and monitors flicker with residual energy readings from the last dimensional collapse. The Saiyan. He altered everything, one mutters, voice hushed. Not just Ghidorah, not just the rift, the planet itself. The enormity of his actions resonates through them. They cannot quantify it, cannot contain it, but they feel the lingering presence of a power beyond comprehension. Above the atmosphere, in the deep darkness of space, faint golden sparks flicker where the rift had been. Tiny, radiant pulses drift through the void, dancing against the black canvas of the cosmos. They shimmer intermittently, as if alive, as if carrying fragments of Goku's essence, scattered but persistent. Even in his absence, his energy continues to ripple outward, touching distant satellites, guiding cosmic dust, whispering the memory of courage to the universe. The wind sweeps across ruined city streets, carrying distant echoes of roars and shouts, the aftermath of Titan's fury, mingling with the whispers of survivors. A young child steps onto a rooftop, pointing toward the sky. He saved us, she says, barely a whisper, eyes wide with wonder. Her small voice is met with silence, but in that silence, a truth lingers. Legends do not fade, even when the hero has vanished. As dusk approaches, shadows lengthen across the broken landscapes, fires are finally contained, and the first signs of organized rebuilding emerge. Humanity begins to reclaim its cities, erecting temporary shelters, clearing debris, and tending to the wounded. Scientists and engineers work feverishly, inspired and haunted by the events that have passed, carrying with them a renewed sense of purpose. Godzilla reaches the edge of a canyon formed from the impact of a long-forgotten battle, pausing. He looks towards the horizon where the auroras and storm remnants fade. His eyes narrow subtly, a silent acknowledgement to the hero who fought beside him, a recognition of what was lost and what was preserved. A low, reverent rumble vibrates through the canyon, a sound not of anger but of memory and respect. And then, in the stillness of space above, the faint golden sparks twinkle once more. They drift slowly, as if searching, as if carrying a promise, that while the hero may not return, his actions are etched permanently into the fabrics of this world, into the memories of titans and humans alike. The earth spins silently, wounded, yet alive. Godzilla lets out one final lingering roar, a sound both mournful and triumphant. Somewhere in the void, Goku's energy continues to drift, an invisible guardian, a cosmic legend, a reminder that heroes transcend time, space, and even reality itself. The storm has ended. The sky is clear, titans sleep, humanity rebuilds. And across the cosmos, a hero's essence flickers, faint yet eternal, a beacon of hope that legends never disappear,